I was just reflecting as I look at my phone right now, how so much of our lives is influenced by technology and social media and the stories that we see online and through our phones. And it made me realize that, I think I mentioned this in the previous video, but the phone is a bit like an appendage organ, and we didn't really choose this organ because you need phones to function in the society today. So without it, it can be really hard to function in society. I've met people that try to use less sophisticated phones to reduce that, like a flip phone from like 10 years ago, which I think is a really great way to reduce that input of that stream of information that's not actually what we were designed to absorb constantly and be bombarded with. And I think it's very helpful to realize that so much of our mental life is basically streamed to us from our devices, and we need to realize that how much of that information is reliable, and also what is the quality of that content, and is it the content that's developing you in the way that you would like yourself to develop. And we often live in these echo chambers where we see the world from a particular perspective through our phone, because it's giving us the narratives that the algorithms feed us, and these narratives often support our views and allow us to get more ingrained in those views, when in reality, if you were to go out and speak to different people, you would meet different people with different perspectives, which would be healthy, like a balanced diet, a balanced set of perspectives. But a lot of the content that we see likes to affirm what we believe, because it's feeding us content that we enjoy, and a lot of the content that we might be being fed is not necessarily for our well-being, it's more about engagement. So I think being very honest and reflecting about this is so important, and I often feel like I'm an NPC and I'm absorbed by the phone, and it's something that I feel that draw every day. It's like the one ring in Lord of the Rings. It's like, it's so powerful, and I'm going to do another video on this topic, but we hold so much power in our hands. People are staring down at the ground, and there's basically, if you were to, there was an artist, I think, that removed the phone from the pictures of people in a photo of people in society, and you could just see people just sitting there like that, looking at the ground. And if our ancestors saw that, they wouldn't understand it. So I think grounding ourselves in reality occasionally, going into nature, digital detox. I love technology, but also realizing that we want a symbiosis. We don't want to be, we don't want the technology to be a parasite and us to be the host. We want a symbiotic relationship with it. And what I've actually realized is that when I interact with AI and speak to it, so far with my experience, I personally feel it's been a breath of fresh air from social media, because social media is about releasing as much dopamine, it's about me clicking on something or doom scrolling, getting me addicted to the content using my reward systems. But when you interact with AI, at the moment, it actually feels like interacting with another being. But we have to be cautious about this, because we don't know what technologies in the future will be available, and whether there will be AIs that kind of have a more persuasive tone. But at the moment, my interactions with ChatGPT have been good, because I can have a back and forth, and it hasn't I haven't felt like like a kind of addiction or draw to it in the same way that someone might feel that with social media. But we have to be careful, because powerful AI could potentially be very convincing. So, and we need to realize that it might even understand our subconscious processes. So I think as the technology becomes more powerful, we need to work with it to develop the best possible technology. And I look forward to a world with great AI, but we also need to kind of ground ourselves in our humanity and realize what our true essence is as well. And I want to finish with an interesting thing I heard I was listening to a podcast, I think it was Chris Williamson, but they were talking about how regrets of the dying, maybe in the future, the regrets of the dying will be, I did too much doom scrolling when I could have spent time with my family and friends, or learnt something new, or done something healthy, or to help other people. So let's realize that our mental life should not just be equivalent to our digital life. Bleef doorzetters, and I hope you enjoyed this.